Today, our theme is a real simple one. It's just to enjoy being in our bodies. Okay, so just to enjoy feeling good in our bodies. And for anyone who's new to the class today, everything in this class is a choice and an invitation. So do really listen to your body and notice what feels good for you, and do feel free to adapt or sit anything out to help yourself to really enjoy the next hour. Okay. So when I think about how to feel good in my body or how to enjoy being in my body, I think it's really important to acknowledge, first of all, that our bodies are the source of our pain and our suffering and our emotions. But we can feel good in our bodies even with pain and even with discomfort and difficult emotions. And the way that we can do that is actually to feel good towards the difficult experiences in our bodies. So instead of feeling frustrated or angry at our bodies for failing us, to actually feel compassionate towards our bodies for always trying to keep us safe and ultimately helping us to survive. So the invitation today is to really generate these sort of positive feelings towards your experience, even if you notice tightness, tension, discomfort, to sort of hold that in a wider compassion and acceptance, and just see what happens there. A symbol that I like to use for myself, and I also teach with it as well, is the yin yang, which comes from Taoism. So that's the circle with the black blob with the white dot in it, and the white blob with the black dot in it. And I think this, I find this a really powerful symbol to remind us that there's always, or we could always find bad in the good and good in the bad. So even if we do feel pain in our bodies or difficult emotions, can we find, for example, some comfort in the warmth of our hands? Okay, or could we find some enjoyment in the feeling of our breath? Okay, and that way our experience is kind of less solid, and it gives us then more opportunity and more hope to enjoy being in our bodies as well. So today we're going to start off with a body scan meditation. So I'll invite you to lie down in a moment, because that practice is best done lying down, and we'll then start the movement lying down. After the body scan, we'll do a bit of breath work, and then we'll come into our asana, or our physical practice for today. So we'll be doing a little bit of balancing when we stand up, and this is a really good opportunity to really practice being compassionate towards ourselves and accepting that we might wobble, maybe even fall, and just having a giggle and being lighthearted about it if that does happen. Okay. We'll also be doing a little bit of core work at the beginning. So core work, of course, it can bring some difficult sensations when our cores are burning. So again, an opportunity there to sort of hold that in a wider space of acceptance and enjoyment. Okay, so if you'd like to start off by coming down to lie on your backs, and we'll have our meditation lying down and our breath work as well. Okay, so you can lie in any position that feels comfortable for you. You might have your legs out long, or perhaps bending at the knees if that feels more comfortable on your lower back. You might have your arms alongside your body, perhaps the palms facing downwards, maybe upwards. You might have your hands on your torso, on your tummy if that feels good. So let's take a moment to really allow ourselves to arrive here, into this time and into this space. Could you let anything that's already happened today stay in the past? And let anything that is still yet to happen today wait for you in the future. So giving yourself permission to be fully present here, in this moment, with this experience, and finding your way into your body. You notice where your body is. Notice the position in which it's chosen to lie down in. Notice the shape and the size and the volume of your body. This is your unique space in the world. There's no other body like it. And then when you're ready, the invitation is to just simply notice your feet. So notice where your feet are. Notice the position in which they're held. And could you get really curious to notice any sensations down in your feet? You might notice the coolness of the air on your skin, perhaps the contact with the earth beneath you. There might be tingling, numbness, the pressure of your socks. You might notice the different parts of your feet, your toes, soles of the feet. Just getting really curious about your feet. And then noticing the whole of your legs. Noticing the shape of them, the size, the position in which they're held. You might scan from one leg to the other, holding each in your awareness, and then both together. You might be curious to notice if there are areas of comfort and perhaps areas of discomfort. And remembering that we practice without judgment, so not labeling our experience as being good or bad. Just simply noticing, this is how it feels to be in my body this morning. Finding your way up to your hips, noticing your bottom, your pelvis, and then shifting your attention to your hands, noticing where your hands are, their shape, size, position, and being really curious about any sensations here in your hands. Noticing your arms. What can you notice about your arms? Your shoulders. And then making your way up into your neck. Becoming aware of your neck. And your head. You feel your head resting on the earth. You might notice the back of your head, the top of your head. You might notice your face, your eyes, your mouth, your nose, perhaps the gentle tickle of air coming in and out of your nostrils. And then finding your way down to your torso. In the back of your body, you find your upper back, your middle back, your lower back, and then to the front of your body, noticing your tummy and finding your way to your chest. You might notice the gentle movement of the breath in the front of your body, rising as you breathe in, sinking as you breathe out. Paying your full attention to your breath. And then when you're ready, expanding your awareness back out into your whole body, the whole size, shape, and volume of your body. And you might imagine that you're breathing into your whole body, as though you're filling your body up with breath, breathing into all corners of your body. And as you do so, could you welcome a sense of wholeness and completeness in your body, just as it is in this moment. And we're going to transition into some breath work now. You might like to bring your hands onto your torso, perhaps one hand on the tummy, one hand on the chest. And could you start drawing your breath down so that as you inhale, your tummy inflates and then deflates as you exhale. And then adding a step so that as you inhale, your tummy inflates and then your ribs and chest inflate. And then breathing out from the ribs and chest and the tummy. So taking full, deep, expansive breaths. Breathing into the full capacity of your lungs. Relaxing your diaphragm, expanding your rib cage. And filling our bodies up with prana, with oxygen, with energy. And continuing to take these deep, expansive breaths. The invitation is at the top of the next inhale to pause with full lungs. And as you exhale, to sigh out through your mouth. We'll take a few rounds like this. So inhaling, full lungs. Pausing and sighing. Feel free to make some noise if you want to. And as you take those long exhales through the mouth, really feeling your body deflating. Sinking into the earth. And really giving permission to your body to let go of anything that it's been holding on to. And then releasing that and returning back to your natural rhythm and pace of breath. And just taking a moment to feel really curious about how you're feeling in yourself in this moment. Being open to notice or allow for any shifts that might have occurred since you came into the room and lay down. Noticing how you're feeling physically, emotionally, and energetically. And remembering that all parts of you are welcome here this morning. So when you're ready, I invite you to bring both hands to your heart center, one on top of the other. And here we'll create an intention for our practice. So if you want to go with the theme of today, you might like to use the words, I am here to enjoy my body. I am here to enjoy my body. Or any other words that speak to you this morning. And sealing that intention into your heart. And as we prepare to move into the movement part of the practice, remembering that in yoga, your body is your responsibility. So do please listen to your body. In fact, you should listen to your body more than you listen to me. There's never any need to push through any pain or discomfort, and you can always come back to rest at any time that you need to. So when you're ready, I invite you to bring your arms alongside your body with your palms facing downwards. And if you've got your legs out long, then bending at the knees to bring the soles of the feet to the ground. Just taking a moment to feel the texture of the earth beneath your hands and your feet. Really letting those sensations ground you into the here and now. And then on your next inhale, the invitation is to sweep your arms all the way up overhead. And then exhale back alongside your body. So continuing with your own breath, inhaling up, exhaling down. Really paying attention to the movements as we use our movements like a meditation. So with full consciousness and awareness of where our body is in space. And at the top of the next inhale, I invite you to pause here to engage your tummy and then hug your knees in, wrapping your arms either around your shins or perhaps around the back of your thighs, whatever feels better for you this morning, and then gently rocking from side to side. You can make these movements as big or as small as your body wants them to be. Massaging those big back muscles into the earth. And then coming to settle in the middle and guiding your feet back down to the ground a little wider than hip distance apart. And bringing your arms out at shoulder height, your palms facing upwards. And here we're going to window right the knees side to side. So could you exhale the knees to one side? And then inhale back to center. Exhaling to the other side. Inhaling back to center. Continuing with your own breath. And if it feels good, you might gently rock your head from side to side, taking your gaze to the opposite side, to the knees. And again, you can make these movements as big or small as you want to. Really find the way that feels good in your body. And when you're ready, coming back to center and heel toeing your feet in so that they're hip distance apart. We're going to warm up our core now, which is really going to help us when we come up to our standing poses. So could you bring your hands around the back of your head with your elbows out wide, so coming into that sunbathing position. And we're going to just do some simple crunches here first of all, just 4 of each. So when you're ready, as you exhale, could you peel your head up off of the mat? And then inhale to gently lower back down again. 3 more times. So exhaling up, crunching at the core. Inhale to lower. 2 more times. Remembering in yoga that we really focus on the quality of the movements, not the quantity. Taking 1 more here. Gently lowering back down. Take a breath. And then lifting the feet up off of the ground so that your shins are about horizontal or parallel to the sky. And we're going to do the same movement here. So again, we'll take 4 of those crunches. So when you're ready, exhaling, elbows towards the knees. Inhaling to lower. 3 more times. And then gently lowering the head back to the mat, taking a breath here. And the next invitation is to cross your right thigh on top of your left. Okay, so option to stay here with the thighs crossed, or if it's available to you, you can come into eagle leg, so cross the calf and the ankle back around again. And then bringing the hands out wide, the arms out wide, so resting the head back down on the mat. Could you then cross the arms in front of you so the left arm goes over the right? Bend at the elbows, and you can either hug the hands around the shoulders or come into eagle arms with the arms, again, if that's available to you, with a double cross in the arms there. Good. Once you've found your position, we're going to take 4 crunches like this. So as you exhale, bring the elbows towards the knees. Inhale to lower back down. We'll take 3 more. Nearly there on this side. 1 more if you're still with me. Lowering back down. Good. Unhug the arms, and could you place both hands on top of that front thigh or that top thigh? One on top of the other. Okay, so we've got both palms facing the top of that front thigh. Good. And we're going to do an isometric push here. So this is where we push the thigh away with the hands, and at the same time we push the thigh into the hands, and you should feel some shaking and shuddering in your body. Take 1 breath here, pushing as hard as you can, and release. Bring the arms out at shoulder height, and as you exhale, guide both knees over to the left side, coming into a twist. So a cross-legged twist here, really nice. If it's comfortable in your neck, then looking right over that right arm. Let's take 3 breaths here, resting the body before we do the same on the other side. Give permission to your legs to relax into this pose, letting go of any holding so that the earth can pull the legs down with gravity. When you're ready to come out, using an inhale to come back to center, uncross that right thigh, place the foot down on the ground, and this time cross the left on top of the right. Again, option to go for the double bind there, the eagle legs, if it's available to you, and then lifting the feet up off of the mat. So this time we cross the right arm on top of the left, bend at the elbows, either come into that hug with the arms around the shoulders or go for the double bind on the arms with the eagle arms there. And when you're ready, we'll go for our 4 crunches. So exhale, elbows to knees. Inhale to lower. Good, nearly there, just 3 more of these. One more if you're still with me. Lowering back down. Unbind the arms. We're bringing the hands onto the top thigh. So palms on top of each other, pushing down into that top thigh. And then we push the hands into the thigh as we push the thigh into the hands for 1 breath. And release. Bring the arms out at shoulder height. And as you exhale, guide the knees over to the right side. So coming into our cross-legged twist on the other side for our 3 breaths. And if it's comfortable, then looking out over the left arm. Perhaps sending the breath down into the legs, encouraging them to let go of any holding or tensing. When you're ready, use an inhale to come back to center, uncross the legs, and you can go ahead and hug your knees back in. This time, you might take them out wide if that feels good, and then gently rocking from side to side. And again, you can make these movements as big or small as your body wants them to be, as fast or slow as your body wants them to be. So really finding the way that feels good for your body. And then when you're ready, bringing the knees back together, guiding the feet down to the ground. And you can choose a side to roll off to here and find your way into your fetal position. So coming onto the side of your body, you might tuck your knees up, you might wrap your arms around your waist or around your torso. You might explore gently stroking your skin with your hands, perhaps giving yourself a cuddle here. In this moment, welcoming tenderness, welcoming kindness, welcoming comfort towards your own body. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly find our way up to sitting. There's no rush. So take your own time, use your hands to guide you, and we'll meet in any sitting position. So you might choose to sit with your legs crossed or perhaps out long or out wide, but whichever way your body is choosing to sit, making sure your sit bones can be grounded down to the earth. And see if you can welcome some length in your spine. So you might imagine somebody is gently pulling you up from the crown of the head there. Beautiful. And by the way, while we're doing the sitting poses, if you do need to change your position at any point, then that's absolutely fine. So sitting up nice and tall, and then as you exhale, could you gently lower your chin to your chest, feeling that lengthening in the top of your back and the back of your neck. Could you imagine that you're sending your breath up and back into that part of your body? And then when you're ready, on an inhale, rolling the head to the left, so the left ear comes to the left shoulder. And then exhaling back to center, chin to chest. Inhaling to the right, right ear to right shoulder. Exhaling back to center, chin to chest. And continuing to move with your own breath, gently rocking side to side. You might notice areas of tightness or sensation, perhaps. You might choose to explore gently, staying with that part of the body a little longer, perhaps sending your movement, your breath, and your attention towards that part of the body. When you come over to the left side next, I invite you to pause here and we'll explore a stretch on this side. So you might like to bring the right arm out long, fingertips pointing down towards the ground. You might explore bringing the left hand up underneath the head as a support, like a pillow to rest on. You might explore lowering the chin down a little bit more or perhaps lifting it up. So really finding a way that this feels as good as it can do for your body. You might invite your eyes to join in, perhaps looking up in the opposite direction to the stretch. Let's take 3 breaths here, sending the breath into those sensations that you feel in your body. And then when you're ready, slowly rolling back through center and finding your way over to the other side. And again, you might explore bringing the left arm out long if that feels good. Perhaps bringing the right hand as a support for the head. And maybe exploring bringing the head forwards a little bit or backwards a little bit. Really finding the way that this stretch feels good for your body. And then when you're ready, exhaling to lower the chin back to the chest and then using an inhale to come back to your neutral spine. And we'll come through our shoulder rolls here. So bringing your awareness to your shoulders, I invite you to inhale to roll the shoulders forwards and up, and then exhale back and down. So continuing with your own breath, and as always, feel free to close your eyes if that feels good. Feel free to sigh it out on the exhale if you want to make some noise. Perhaps exploring if your arms want to get involved today, or maybe not. Really just letting your body move in whatever way it wants to move, and really finding the way that feels good and enjoyable for your body. And remembering that might look very different to what looks good and enjoyable for my body or the people sitting around you. We all have such unique experiences of being in our bodies, so we all need to find our own way. And then when you're ready, taking those circles back the other way, so inhaling back and up and exhaling forwards and down. And then letting your shoulders settle down in the middle there. So if you've got your legs crossed, or if you're sitting on a block or cushion, I invite you to bring your legs out long in front. And just making sure your sit bones can be grounded down. And do take a moment if you want to give your legs a pat, a shake, a wobble, wake up the circulation. And so Tina and JC, you'll want to pop off your cushions if that's okay for this one. So I invite you to bend that right knee up towards the body, and we're going to cross it over to the other side of that left leg. Now the invitation here is to explore coming onto the top of that foot, so that the top of the foot comes down towards the ground. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few different variations that we can do this pose in, with the intention of stacking the knees on top of each other. Okay, and I say intention because if that doesn't feel right for your body, then it's absolutely fine to keep the knees a little bit further apart. Okay, so option to stay here, or we can bend that left knee as well and bring the top of that left foot down towards the ground as well. Okay, this is called our cow face pose in yoga. I've always been very intrigued by the name of this pose. So another variation is to stack the shins on top of each other like this as well, if that feels better, but it is absolutely fine to keep that left leg out long. So there's a few different options to explore, so find whichever feels best for your body this morning. So we've got the right leg on top there, and I invite you then to inhale to take the arms out wide, and as we exhale, just as we did when we were lying down, we're going to cross the arms in front of the body, left on top, left arm on top, bend at the elbows, and either bring the hands around the back to give ourselves a cuddle, or we can come into our eagle arms here. So our eagle arms, we cross the forearms together and perhaps bring the palms of the hands together as well. Beautiful. Really nice. So as we inhale, we're going to lift the elbows up and look up. And then as we exhale, we're going to compress, bringing the elbows down towards the knees. Let's take 3 more like this. It's very similar to what we did lying down. So deep stretch for the shoulders and also the hips and getting into the psoas muscle there. I think we've got 1 more if you're still with me. Exhale, good. Unwind the arms, take them out wide. Wonderful. Relaxing the arms down. And I invite you now to bring that right leg all the way out wide. Okay? So that the inside of the left foot comes to the inside of the right thigh. And if you had that left leg out long, then bending at the knee to bring the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right leg. Now that might be up on the thigh, or it might feel better for you to have that down further towards the calf. And it might feel nice to pop a block under that knee for support if that feels good for you this morning. So again, really work your way into a position that feels comforting, it feels comfortable for your body. Lovely. And we're going to come into a bend over that right leg now. So a forward fold over that right leg. And again, we've got a few different options. So do explore them and find what feels good for you. So first of all, I invite you to twist so that you're facing towards that right foot. And you might bring the right arm down out towards the side like an outrigger for support for the spine. And then inhale the left arm up. And then as you exhale, bending or folding over that front leg. Good. So option to stay here if that's feeling good, or we can add some dynamic movement where we inhale to come back up again and then exhale to fold. You might explore wave-like movements in your body here. Really finding the way that feels good for you. You might take that left arm across the leg, so coming into more of a twist. Or you might stay down in your fold if that feels good for you today. Perhaps taking hold of the strap and looping it around the ball of the foot. I just move around a little bit so that you can all see over there. We might take hold of the strap and come into a more static forward fold here. And of course, the option to continue moving is still there if your body is asking for more movement today. So wherever you are, let's take 3 more breaths. Good. And when you're ready, finding your way all the way back up and bringing both legs out long. And again, let's give them a pat, a shake and a wobble before we go through on the other side. So this time we're going to bend the left knee up and again placing it over on the right side of the right leg. The invitation, if it's available, to flip the foot over and come onto the top of that foot. So either staying here with the right leg out long or bending at the right knee and bringing that right foot towards the left side. So again, working with the intention to stack the knees. Lovely. Once you've found your position, bringing the arms out wide, and then as you exhale, this time the left arm goes underneath, the right arm comes on top, bending at the elbows, either hugging the arms, the hands around the back of the shoulders, or coming into your eagle arms here. Beautiful. As you inhale, lift the elbows up towards the sky. As you exhale, compress the body. 3 more times like this. One more time if you're still with me. Use the next inhale to unravel the arms, take them out wide. Exhale, relax the arms down, and this time we're going to bring the left leg all the way out long. And if you've got that right leg out long, then bending at the knee to bring the sole of the foot to the inside of that left leg. Good. So preparing on this side again, perhaps popping that block underneath the knee if that feels good. And then when you're ready, turning to face that left leg. And we'll come into our forward fold here. So you might bring that left arm out again, like a support or an outrigger for the spine. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale to fold. Good. So let's start off, if it feels good, with that dynamic movement. Perhaps welcoming a wave-like movement through the spine. And either staying here if the movement feels good for your body, or perhaps coming into a static fold over that leg. Right, maybe using a strap, maybe using your hands. And perhaps this side of the body might want something completely different to the other side. So really finding what feels good for you this morning. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready to come out, using an inhale to come all the way back up again. And let's bring both legs out long once again, giving them a tap, a pat and a wobble before we find our way into our tabletop position. So coming onto hands and knees. And if you need any extra padding on your knees, you might flip the back of your mat up. If anyone wants any more, I've got extra mats, so just give me a wave if you'd like padding under your knees. Or if you don't want to come onto your knees today, you might like to sit up to do the following poses as we come into our cat-cows. So I'll just turn to the side here. So stacking your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And just take a moment to look down at your hands, and you might explore widening the gaps between your fingers and your thumbs so that your hands and your awareness is spread through your whole hands. And then when you're ready, could you inhale to tip your pelvis back, drop your belly down, reach your heart forwards, look up. And then exhale to tip your pelvis forwards, pull your belly up towards your spine, round your shoulders and look back. So moving with your own breath, inhaling to reach the heart forwards, exhaling to round through the back of the body, push the earth away. You might choose to close your eyes if that feels good. Really letting these waves of breath send these waves of movement through your body. If it's uncomfortable on your wrists at all, there's always the option to come down onto your forearms, or perhaps come up onto your knuckles, or to shift the weight back into your hips a little bit more. So again, finding the way that makes these movements feel really good in your body. And then when you're ready, the invitation is to explore some free movement here. So you might like to welcome some sideways movements, perhaps taking the hips off from one side to the other. Maybe taking a look around behind you to each side. Perhaps lifting the feet off of the ground one by one. Maybe creating figures of 8 with your body. Remembering that there's no right or wrong way to do this. So we can really explore what feels good in our bodies today. That might be small, gentle movements. It might be big, playful movements. You might like to explore closing down your eyes. So really drawing your awareness inwards, away from the outside world and the external world of appearances, and inwards towards the world of feeling and sensation. And this is how our body communicates to us. If your body is wanting more stillness, then perhaps sinking back into a child's pose. And then when you're ready, I invite us all now to sink our way back to find a child's pose. So this is where we sink our hips back over our ankles and our upper body down towards the ground, or we can bring the ground up towards our body or our head with a cushion or a block underneath us. Letting our bodies sink down into the earth. For a few moments of stillness, noticing the movement of the breath, this closeness between our body and the earth, integrating the movements that we've done so far. And then on your next inhale, I invite you to rise your way back up to your tabletop again. And from here, we'll prepare to stand up, so tucking the toes under, and then push through the hands to lift the knees, and you can walk the feet to the hands or the hands to the feet, finding your way into a standing forward fold. So you can keep a deep bend in the knees if needed, and letting your upper body and your head hang down. You might take hold of opposite hands and opposite elbows and gently rock from side to side if that feels good for you. If it feels good, you might gently rock your head or shake your head side to side, forwards and back. You might explore opening your mouth and sticking out your tongue and having a lion's breath on the exhale. Letting your body just let go of anything that it needs to. And remembering sometimes we don't know what our bodies need to let go of, but giving these little opportunities to let go with breath and movement means that our body can set that aside, whatever it is. And then when you're ready, I invite you to drop your hands all the way down, and keeping a deep bend in the knees, we're going to roll up super slowly. So really taking our time to unfurl and uncurl our body, resisting the urge to rush and enjoying the journey upwards. As we move into our standing poses, changing our relationship to gravity, coming to stand up tall in our bodies, and you might come up to the top of your mats here. In fact, I'll come to the top of this one. And looping the shoulders up and back, standing nice and tall. Again, imagining somebody's gently pulling you up from the crown of the head there. We're going to come into our chair pose here. So you might bring the feet together if that's comfortable, and just ever so slightly angling the toes in towards one another so that the outside edges of the feet are parallel to the sides of the mat. Good. And then inhaling the arms up to the sky, looking up. And as you exhale, sitting back as though you're sitting back into a chair. So bending at the knees, the bottom goes back, but we tuck the tailbone under, engaging the tummy, lifting the chest and look up. Good. So we can explore some dynamic movement with the breath here as well. So as we inhale, slowly rising up. And then as we exhale, folding into the chair, bending the knees. Inhale up. Exhale down. Perhaps a really exhaling Let's take 2 more like this. 1 more. Good. Inhale all the way up, reach up. Exhale, relax the hands down. Lovely. So I mentioned we were going to come into some balancing poses today. And I think I'll demonstrate it first of all, and then we'll all explore it together. So it's actually very similar to what we did lying down and sitting down, but this time it's standing up. So we're going to inhale the right knee up and then exhale to cross it over. Okay, so there's an option here to use those toes as a support if that feels good for you. If it's available to you, you might come into eagle legs. I can't do it, but that's when you cross the ankle around again at the back. Okay, from here we're going to bring the arms up and then we're going to exhale again into the same arm position. So the left arm will come on top, either coming into a hug or into our eagle arms, okay? And we're going to take 3 breaths here. And then if you're still with me, you can join to inhale that right knee up and then we'll step back into a lunge, okay? If you need to or you want to, come out, take a moment to center and then step back into your lunge, okay? Remembering to generate good feelings towards yourself, whatever happens in these poses. So if you wobble, bounce, fall, that's absolutely okay. Let's do it with a smile at least, okay? So when you're ready, standing up at the top of your mat. And we're going to inhale to lift that right knee. Exhale to cross it over, perhaps coming into eagle legs. Maybe use those toes as a support. Bring the arms out at shoulder height. As you exhale, bring the left arm on top, bending at the elbows, either coming into that hug or come into your eagle arms. We'll take 3 breaths here. If you're in your eagle arms, you can't see directly in front of you, so we're using our proprioception, our peripheral vision to know where our body is in space. Let's take 1 more breath here. As you inhale, unravel the arms, take that right knee up. As you exhale, slowly step back into your lunge. Trust that the earth will catch you. Beautiful. Bend into the front knee. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Lovely. Push that back heel down behind you. An option to stay here, or we can add some dynamic movement. Exhale to lower. Inhale up. Good. Exhale to lower. Inhale up 1 more time. Inhale. As you exhale, we're going to transition to our warrior 2. So ground that back foot down at a 90-degree angle. The right arm comes back, the left arm comes forward, hips facing the side. Warrior 2, looking to that front arm. Let's take 3 breaths here. Feeling really strong and steady in the legs. When you're ready, you might heel toe that back foot in a little until you can step to the front and then give yourself a shake out. Ready to go through on the other side. So I'm going to come and stand over here for this one. And this time we're going to be planting the right foot down and then inhaling the left knee up. Exhale to cross that left thigh on top of the right. Perhaps use those toes as a stand. Inhale the arms up. This time cross the right arm on top of the left, bend at the elbows, perhaps staying here in your hug, or perhaps coming into your eagle arms. Okay, let's take our 3 breaths here. As you inhale, we might squeeze the elbows up. 1 more breath if you're still with me. On the next inhale, unravel the arms, lift that left knee, and then exhale to step your way back nice and slowly. Trust that the earth will catch you. Find your lunge. Inhale up, bend into that front knee. Let's take our 3 breaths here, perhaps finding some dynamic movement. So exhale to lower, inhale up. 2 more breaths. On the next exhale, transition to your warrior 2. Ground that back foot down at a 90-degree angle. Look to that front hand. Hips are facing the long edge of the mat. Beautiful. 3 breaths here. And when you're ready to step to the front, you might step straight through or perhaps heel that back foot in a little bit. Step to the front of the mat and give yourself a really good shake out and a bounce. Well done, everyone. So releasing that, and let's prepare to come back down to the ground. So if you like to have a block to support you on your way down, you might just pop a block at the front there. And when you're ready, inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale to fold, deep bend in the knees. If needed, the bottom goes back, the chest comes forwards. Inhale halfway up with a flat back, looking forwards. Exhale to fold. Bring the hands down either to the ground or onto your block. And then look forwards, step back with one foot onto the knee. Step back with the other, and we're going to find our way all the way onto our bottoms and then onto our backs. And when you get there, you can go ahead and hug your knees into your body, perhaps gently rocking from side to side. Maybe inviting some deeper breaths here, breathing in through the nose, sighing it out through the mouth. Massaging those big back muscles into the earth and letting this closeness to the earth be a signal to our body that it's now time to cool down and to slow down. And then bringing your hands onto your knees, I invite you to take your knees nice and wide and then reach through to take hold of your shins, your ankles, or the outside edges of your feet, coming into your happy baby pose. And in happy baby, you might keep your feet down low, or you might explore bringing them up towards the sky. It might feel good to stay still here, or it might feel nice to gently rock from side to side. Perhaps exploring lengthening one leg and then the other. And maybe circling the ankles. So really letting your body move however it wants to move. And really finding the enjoyment and the freedom of letting your body move however it wants to move. And as we prepare to come down into our final resting pose for our Shavasana, if there are any other stretches or movements that your body feels it wants to take to complete your practice, then do please give your body whatever it needs before finding your way down into your Shavasana. So if you want to come into a traditional Shavasana, that would be with your legs out long, with your feet a little wider than hip distance apart and your toes relaxing out to the sides, your arms alongside your body, palms facing upwards with a little bit of a space between your arms and your body. Or if it feels more comfortable on your back to have your knees bent, or if it feels better to lie on your side, then do please make this Shavasana your own. And then letting your body sink into whatever position it's chosen. Remembering that this is a special time for you to rest, and a time for your body to soak up all of the benefits of the movement. Knowing that you've done all the work now, there's nothing left to do. So could you trust that you're in a safe space? A space where you're supported and held in the loving arms of our earth. So you can let go of any holding of your body and breath. And surrender into this moment. And could you trust that you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now? There's nothing to do or nowhere to go. And could you trust that you are exactly as you are supposed to be right now? There's nothing to change. There's nothing to fix, nothing to alter. And could you welcome a sense of peacefulness, a sense of wholeness in yourself? Trusting that it's okay to be just as you are in this moment. When you're ready, you can start inviting some energy back into your body, perhaps taking some deeper breaths. You might start inviting some movement back in by wiggling your fingers and your toes, maybe circling your ankles and your wrists. Perhaps taking your arms up overhead, maybe a stretch, maybe a yawn. Gently waking our bodies back up again. And then when you're ready to rolling off to one side, finding your way back into your fetal position again. Taking a moment to wrap your arms around your body, giving yourself a cuddle. You might take this moment to thank yourself for showing up to your practice and to thank your body for carrying you through this practice and through this day. And then when you're ready, I invite you to find your way back up to sitting, where we'll close the practice together. There's no rush, you can move at your own pace, and we'll meet in any sitting position. So I invite you to bring your hands back to your heart center, one on top of the other. And remembering the intention that you started your practice with, and deciding if you're going to leave that here or take that with you for the rest of your day or perhaps even your week. Then bringing your palms together in front of your heart for a moment of gratitude for our practice of yoga. And then rubbing your hands together to create some heat and energy. And when you're ready, taking your hands up to your face, your palms on your cheeks, your fingers over your eyes, and gently blinking your eyes open. Letting the light back in and relaxing your hands down. So thank you all very much for coming to practice together today. From my heart to yours, happy Easter and namaste. Namaste. Thank you.